Remind you of where you're from and why you're here. When you were put in stasis, our home star of Azal had scorched away the rich purple vegetation of our home of Elysia, turning it into an uninhabitable wasteland. It was clear centuries ago that Azal would soon swallow our world whole, and we had no choice but to find a way to leave before our life-giving star became a life-ending star. Even though our situation was dire, and we knew we had only a few hundred years to figure it out, the whole world banded together, developed spaceflight, and launched the nascent Dawn, the very ship you are on now. It would take all the remaining resources of our entire home world to jump the nascent Dawn one time to a new home. We had only one shot, and we had to get it right. After a search through thousands of potential planets, finally, a single usable new home was found, a shining jewel in the endless sky. And so, we stuffed the massive nascent Dawn full of all the frozen Elysian life we could still save, and jumped here to the world now known as Chorus 1. And to our horror, we discovered that the scouts were wrong. The world you see out the windows, while beautiful, had intelligent life already present, primitive but intelligent. And no matter how desperate we may be, us Elysians would rather perish than to build a new home at the expense of a developing civilization. No matter how primitive that civilization may be, intelligent life is not to be harmed. And even more to our horror, our massive ship accelerated the decay of the moon, Chorus 1A. Our jump brought us into a low orbit, and by the time we could muster the fuel to move the Dawn, its mass had dragged the moon from an 11,000-year collision course to 2,300 years, dooming the Sergal civilization below to a fate similar to our own, but with no hope of developing technology fast enough to escape their fate. And so, our mission changed. We continued the search for new homes, using what small scouts and meager jump fuel remained, while also redeveloping the equipment to make new jump fuel, and also researching ways to pull that moon back into a higher orbit and save the doomed peoples below, all with a 2,300-year time limit. We knew it would be a daunting task. For 100 years, we lived on rations, scavenged what we could for jump fuel and jump drives, continued to search, and continued to find no suitable homes. Space truly is an empty and desolate place, with few oases suitable for life. We figured out how to hide a few farms on the surface, far away from the developing society of Sergals below. Our best efforts managed to avoid most exposures, but accidents happen, and you will eventually meet a few of these exposed Sergals who have chosen to come live with us permanently on the Dawn. 103 years after launch, desperate for change, we finally braved and survived the harsh conditions of the nearby nebula, and within that nebula we discovered the crystalline matrices, which would prove to change our lives forever. Thankfully, it took us only 3 years of research before we mastered those matrices and mastered the restructuring and manipulation of matter. 6 years after that, 109 years after launch, that technology allowed us to build better ships, explore deeper into the nebula, and it was then we discovered the red crystals. 2 years post, 111 years after launch, those crystals were also mastered, allowing the manipulation of energy and unlocking micro-scale fusion reactors. And that brings us to today, 115 years after launch. You have been brought out of cryosleep because we have now built more scouts. Our people are no longer starving, and we can have more people help search for our new home and research solutions to our moon problem. The global union you remember from Elysium is no more, replaced by a more utilitarian system affectionately known as TAIL. These 4 departments are technology, administration, industry, and logistics. Some of you were clear candidates for one of these departments, and you have received a single coin in the last 24 hours, which you may still have in your pocket. Others of you were more unclear and have received all 4 coins and must explore for yourselves which department is right for you. The technology department, headed by Stannis the Bear, has all of our researchers, scientists, programmers, field specialists, and great thinkers of our society. The administration department, headed by Onyx the Hyena, is responsible for all matters of organization of personnel, physical security, and any other bureaucratic concerns related to TAIL. Industry department, headed by Acton the Doggo, is responsible for all things manufacturing and maintenance. Both our much-needed jump fuel, but also repair parts to keep our aging vessel operational. And finally, the logistics department, headed by Apoma the Servo, responsible for the movement and inventory of supplies, parts, and resources across the ship and space.
As you find your places in this new era, we would now like to introduce you to the current director of the nascent dawn, Tycho Scott, to fill you in on the current events you may encounter over the next few days.
I'm glad you have all survived cryosleep. Welcome back to where we are today. It will be you will have a few days to reacclimate to our current society, and I will give you some reminders of things that you need to do while you do so. For example, the ever-present 6-2-1 rule, which some of you may remember from your time before you were in cryosleep. Namely, 6 hours of sleep, 2 meals a day, and 1 shower, preferably more. I would also like to remind you that we have a team on the room behind you named Flare. Their job is to be your safety advocates and help you if you are having an issue or a problem, or you are feeling unsafe or feeling unhealthy in any way. They can help you figure out your next steps and potentially get you back onto the path of enjoying your next 3 days here. We have been, for the last nearly 100 years, down on the surface, we have been quietly and secretly observing the life below, hoping to learn some clues about our own evolution. If you would like to assist in that work, there are ways to donate to charity to help make that work a reality. One way is to peruse the charity representatives in the area behind you. Sometimes they're busy, sometimes they're not present, but when they are there, please stop in and ask them about their missions. Another way that you can support the charity efforts is by giving any of our existing staff some of these white tickets that you may have found or that you may have in your own pockets. If you find yourself with one that you no longer want, we would welcome you to give it to our charity. And I suspect there may even be some of you in the audience right now that have some. And, I guess there are some people in the audience who have some.
Let's go!
Thank you. Our charity thanks you.
Wait, there's more.
Our charity also thanks you. 69 cents. And 69 cents. And 69 cents. And 69 cents. Well, this one's only 15 cents. And more 69 cents. And yet more.
69.
I'll explain the 69 thing if you need me to.
Oh my God, that's a flip!
Okay, I understand.
Where did they get this from?
So what's that supposed to be, money? Do you have any
What?
green
Oh
balls in
my
your hand?
Let's
Are
go!
you kidding me?
Are they all 69 cents?
That is...
Can you check if they're all 69 cents?
Why did we wake them up? And we just put them back in cryo. Good Lord. Wait, what are you doing? Are you putting them all in the hat? I see.
Yeah!
Please be careful with those, but I will allow it.
Oh, one more! One more slip! 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 One more! Two! Yeah!
Yeah. Well, since there's so many of those, I guess I really have no choice but to make a deal with everybody here.
Oh.
Sometime tomorrow night, we'll figure out when that is in the near future. But sometime tomorrow evening, I think I will take all of those over to the entertainment area afar and try to figure out how much money is really there. And if anybody is interested in joining me, I will let them make a guess as to how much that is. And whoever is closest, will buy them a drink.
Ooh. Let's go!
All right, moving on. Aside from charity work and work, thankfully, even in this current day, there is still time for entertainment. Clearly. Life isn't all about work, even in our current situation, because life without enrichment is not a life worth living.
Amen to that.
So, please explore the education deck up on the 3rd floor,
Ooh.
where you can find various educational events happening throughout this next 3 days. You are currently on the entertainment deck, and there is an auxiliary entertainment deck behind you. A gaming deck can be found below us, and you can also find much of this information on the back of your Nascent Dawn identification pass. Some notable events in the next few days are the dance competition and the Fursuit Festival, both in this space and the space behind. There will be some concerts in here, most of them 2 days from now, I believe.
Hell yeah.
And there will also be tomorrow a special dance in this very room where only the adults are allowed. And the dress code is not lenient. On the night after that, there will be a very late night dance, which will depart from this entertainment deck and move to the tertiary entertainment deck so that everybody can continue to dance until the sun rises again over the planets below. Near the tertiary entertainment, you will also find a puzzle-solving experience, which I'm told is called an escape room, where you might be able to find some great mental stimulation to clear the fog of cryosleep. Entertainment from this deck, and sometimes the deck directly behind you, can sometimes also be viewed in your quarters. And if you will take your viewing device in your quarters and tune it to channel 77. Lucky sevens, I guess.
Oh, dang it!
And then after that, you can still make your way to the 4th floor, late at night, where you may find the party deck, active in the evenings. I will remind you all to be careful with your consumption on the party deck. Your time in cryo has made you more sensitive while you are here on the nascent dawn.
The more the better!
During the day, you may be interested in searching the shopping deck for new accessories for yourself, or to explore and purchase some of the art and creative materials that have been created during your 100-year-long sleep. When you get hungry, rations are available in some of the various places around the dawn.
Food.
And with that concludes what I would like to fill everybody in with, and I have some final notes before I send you all out for the next 3 days. First, I want to thank you all for coming here and listening to my long-winded presentation and my long-winded diatribes. I want to thank all of you who very generously already donated to charity. And should you be interested in knowing more about Tail and about potentially your assignments, in the room behind you, look in the corner of that room for a cryo chamber, and next to that you may find some dawn assistants that can help you determine your next steps. Everyone, please focus on restoring yourselves for the next few days. Our mission was always to thrive, to be who we are, and to create joy and creativity to share with each other. And now I send you all out on that very mission.